Hello everybody. So we are now into our week 3 of stay-at-home self-isolation period. I have put together this week 3 videos of basic mat work classes, one strong, one gentle, and this is our intermediate one. All last 20 minutes or thereabouts, so you can get up in the morning, get your 20 minutes done, put it into a daily routine if you possibly can. I'd strongly recommend that you do. You will come out of this stay-at-home period feeling a lot stronger, a lot healthier, and ready to get back into the studio as soon as possible. So let us begin. As always, please make sure that you work safely and within your own abilities. Never force a movement. Start rolling your shoulders all the way round. And it is up to you to work safely. I'm not there watching you and making sure that everything is exactly as you should be doing it. So please listen, please watch, and make sure that you do what you can do. Don't force anything. Over you go. Get a nice stretch, a big release all the way down the side, and then up and over the other side. I'm just going to warm up very, very quickly beforehand. So that means a little bit of leg work. Mr. Pilates always started his class with a very fast jogging on the spot, funnily enough. But we're just going to be doing some nice squat work to get those quads and the legs warmed up. Roll your shoulders, slide them down your back, rotate around through one side, push once, twice, back to the middle, and push, push, back to the middle, rotate, and the other side. Right, now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to start foot pedaling whilst you're circling your arms at the same time. So sort of combining a little bit of upper body and a little bit of footwork at the same time. And then click your heels together and let's put those arms back around the other way. Keep your pelvis stable. Make sure you're not tipping through one hip and then the other hip. Bring your feet back to parallel. Let's put them a little bit wider. Grow taller. So imagine you've got a string pulling you up. I'm just going to turn side on so you can see what my back is doing and also what my knees are doing in relation to my heels. I want you to breathe in, and as you breathe out, as if you're sitting down onto a chair, keeping your knees over your ankles, please. Long spine, and then stand up and go again, down and stand up, and 3 and 4. That's it. And 5. We're just going to do 6, so this is your last one. Okay, squeeze those glutes as you stand up. This time your feet are going to go wider. Let your knees turn out a little bit. And this time I want you to bring your arms up as you squat down and stand up. And 2, making sure those knees again stay over the big toe and second toe. Down you go. Bring the arms out, up and over. Roll around. Elbow goes onto the other knee and back. And rolling around again. See if you can get a bigger stretch through that back. Carefully as you go with this one, please. Around. And up. And around. And up. That's it. Stand yourselves all the way back up. Let's get ready to go down onto the mat. So, here we go. Stand at the back of your mat. Grow taller. Breathe in. As you breathe out, drop your chin to your chest and start articulating down one vertebra at a time. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Let your head hang heavy. Let your arms go floppy. Hands go down on the floor. If you're not on the floor, hands are not on the floor, don't worry about it. Just want to feel a nice stretch going down the back of those legs. And then walk your hands out, come down onto your hands and knees. You're going to swing your legs around into a sitting position. So feet are at the end of the mat. Sit up tall. Right, now, just take a moment to think about your posture. Whenever I do a lot of these movements, what I tend to do is to visualize what my spine is doing. So I strip away all the muscle, the fat, and just think about what the spine is doing. So as if it was a skeleton, an X-ray. And at the moment, I'm just tilting my pelvis and warming up my lower back. So it's like a little bit of a half roll up, sit up tall. And this time you're going to let go of those legs, go down, and then come back up, sit up tall. And repeat that, down, and back up, sit up tall. And number 3, back up, sit up tall. And number 4, this time you're going to go all the way down, hands go down by your sides. Now, roll your shoulders, make sure your shoulders are nice and soft, relaxed. No tension in shoulders or necks, please. Now, get my ponytail out of the way. Feet need to be flat on the floor. Tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards and make sure your spine is in neutral. Breathe in. As you breathe out, I want you to brace your abdominals. So let's get those abdominals engaged. But continue to breathe deeply, getting that rib cage to move, please. Breathing very, very deeply in and then out. Breathe in. And then with the next out breath, you bring one leg up to tabletop. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, the other leg comes up to join it. Now, from here, you can either stay here or you can join me in extending the legs. But you're going to hold it here for another 9 full deep breaths. You should be feeling your body working hard, but under no circumstances should you feel any kind of pulling going on in the back. If you're feeling that, you do need to bring your knees back in again. But just hold it here and continue to breathe. Strong, particularly if you're keeping yourself in neutral, which is where I want you to be. It is a strong movement. Well, you're not moving, it's a strong contraction of your abdominals. Your hip flexors here are also working quite hard. So if you're feeling those working hard, don't worry about it, that is perfectly normal. And then let's pull both knees in towards your chest. Lift your head up to meet your knees. Now hold on to your left leg and reach your right leg away. And you're going to swap 1, swap 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right now, both knees pull in towards your chest. And then I want you to reach out, pull in. If your head is tired, it goes down onto the floor, please. And 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. Let's place your hands behind your head. Now, legs can either be straight or a little bit bent for this, but I want you to push your spine down into the floor. Lower your legs down and then pull them back up. And 2, pull them back up. Straight legs is a lot stronger, I should warn you. 4, that's it. 2 more. Good work. You feeling your abdominals? I sincerely hope so. Okay, now you're going to do your crisscross. So lift your head and shoulders up and lengthen your right leg away. Cross your right elbow towards your left knee and swap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Feet go down, arms go out wide. Let's let your knees drop over to one side and then come up and drop over to the other side. Now we're going to move into hip circles this time. So you keep one leg bent to begin with. Bring your left knee in and straighten it up towards the ceiling. I want you to draw 3 small circles on the ceiling with your toes. Try and keep your spine in neutral as you do that, and then reverse the circle. It's small, it's controlled. Now lengthen your right leg away so it's on the floor and let your leg drop over your body and then swoop it all the way around. Open the hip out and then come back up. Drop over, big sweep and back up. Last time, drop over and round and back up. Let's pop that foot down. Slide the other knee in This key comes up to tabletop, point that leg up towards the ceiling and start circling. Try and keep your spine in neutral for this little bit. And then reverse the circle, 1. So we're working the hip rotators. That's it. And then slide your leg away. Let the leg drop over your body and then sweep it all the way around. Drop over, sweep, back up, over, sweep, back up and over, sweep and back up. Now, foot down, other foot comes in to join it, hands down by your sides. We're just going to do a little bit of shoulder bridge work. So enjoy this bit. Tilt and peel your hips up, 1 vertebra at a time. And then back down again, 1 vertebra at a time. And go again, tilt to peel up. And then back down. Tilt, peel up. Really get that articulation of the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. This time, what I'd like you to do is bring your hands over your head. You're going to keep them there. Now, bring 1 leg up to tabletop, hold it there and tap your toes down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This time, if you can, straighten your leg, otherwise keep it bent and push your hips up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That foot goes down. We're going to repeat on the other leg. Make sure you keep those hips square. Make sure your hips haven't dropped. Bring that other leg in. Drop down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then let's straighten that leg up towards the ceiling and push up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Foot goes down. Keep your backs of your hands where they are as you peel your spine back down onto the mat, 1 vertebra at a time. You should feel a bit of an extra lengthening in up the shoulders when you're doing that. And then pull 1 knee in, other knee in, and just roll a little bit here for me. Right, we're going to go over onto our fronts for a little bit of back work. So roll over you go. Now, hands need to be above the head here. I want you to put your toes together and let your heels drop out. So your glutes are not going to be doing any work at the moment. They're going to do something in a minute. So what I would like you to do is ever so gently start breathe in and start lifting your chest up off the floor, making sure your shoulders stay away from your ears. What I see in the class quite often is people end up wanting to push up higher, so they end up crunching their shoulders. No, has to be here and then back down. You don't want to increase tension in those upper back muscles, trapezius muscles, the triangular muscles in between your sort of neck and the upper shoulder. That's the upper trapezius anyway, and then come back up and then down. Okay, breathe in and then down. If you're feeling good, you can bring your hands slightly further down to underneath your shoulders. You get a little bit extra elevation if you do that, but please be careful and make sure that your hips stay on the floor. It's a nice little way to stretch out your abdominal muscles. And then down. And then let's get a little bit of rotation. So I want your hands on each side like this. Nose goes down. Keep those toes together, heels dropping out. That's to disengage your glutes. And you're going to come up and rotate. And go the other side, up and rotate. Hips, hip bones, front of your hips stay down onto the floor the whole time. That's it, last one. Good work. That's your back work over and done with. So tuck your hands underneath your shoulders and sit back onto your heels. We're going to go into a little bit of rolling now. Always makes a lot of people laugh in the class. Please make sure you've got enough padding underneath you. If you've just got a thin yoga mat, you might want to just make sure that the ground, so the carpet underneath is soft enough before you attempt this. So just take it easy and take it gently. I want to start by holding the backs of your knees, and you're going to tilt back and then come back up. You don't want to end up with a bruised spine because you haven't got enough padding underneath your back. So if you don't have a deep enough mat, you're just going to continue with this movement. Otherwise, you hover your feet off the floor, tilt and roll back and up. Now, you squeeze your abdominals to put the brakes on, as it were. And if you're feeling good, you can let your hands go. Make sure those shoulders are soft. That's it. Good. To get a couple more, back, up, and back, up. Right, now, I'm going to do a little bit of what we call teaser preparation work. So, I want you to tuck in tight like a ball, hold on to your ankles, and then if you can, straighten one leg. Make sure your shoulders are dropped. Hold it there. That's it. And that foot goes down. And then straighten the other leg as much as you can. If that's not working for you, you can always hold on to the backs of the knees. Now, you can have the option now to do both legs, but if that is too strong, you stick with one leg. So, if you're on the single leg, you now swap over, otherwise you're holding it here. Good. Okay. Bring the feet back together, bring them back down, and we're going to go over onto our sides. So, I'd like you to be on your elbow and also on your knee like this. If that gets too strong, you can lie down, but the other hand comes up. Super important that your elbow is directly underneath your shoulder. Keep your chest open, lift the top leg up and tap down lightly. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right, now, this time you pull your elbow in towards the knee, reach out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Keep that leg on the floor, the foot on the floor as you rotate under. Come back, open out, and 2, 3. We're just going to do 4 rotations. Good work. Hip goes down, flip yourselves around. Do exactly the same on the other side. So, elbow goes down, making sure the shoulder is directly on top of the elbow. Other hand comes up. Bend your knee underneath and push your hips up. Reset your body if you need to. Make sure your alignment is absolutely precise before you begin. Lift the top leg up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Elbow comes in and reach out. And 2. I like doing this one. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Foot goes down, arm comes back up, ready for your 4 rotations underneath. Rotate, come back, open out, really lift that chest as much as you possibly can. 2, 3, last one, 4. Right, hip goes down. You're going to go over onto your front, ready for a little bit of plank work. So, tuck your toes under, hips down on the floor to begin with, as if you're reading a book on a beach. Now, getting yourself into the right position for plank is very important. Squeeze your abdominals, please, so you're automatically engaging your deepest core muscle, which is called your transverse abdominis. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, lift your hips up. You can move your knees in a little bit if you need to. Make sure that you feel really stable on the shoulders and also on the elbows. Squeeze your abdominals, and we're going to hold it here for another 25 seconds. If it gets a little bit too strong, you can come back down. If you're thinking, I can work harder, you come up onto your toes, okay? But this is our intermediate class. I'm going to stay on my knees. That is strong enough. That is working hard enough. Keep going, keep squeezing. I think that's quite long enough. Come back in, sit back onto your heels, stretching your upper body out. Okay, and then from here you're going to come up onto your hands and knees. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, just going to do a couple of cat and cow stretches. So pushing up and then releasing out, pushing up and releasing out. Make sure your spine is in neutral. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lengthen your leg behind you. It is not too high off the floor. If it's too high up off the floor, you end up with a dip in your back. That's not what we want right here, right now. Opposite arm reaches away in front of you. Hold it here, breathing deeply. So we're working the muscles that work sort of like a cross chain across your back doing this. They work every time you're walking. That's it. And then your hand comes back down, knee comes back down, and then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So reach the opposite leg away, right leg reaches away, left arm reaches away. Hold it here. Breathe deeply in and out, in and out. Let's bring that hand down, let's bring that knee back down. Now, I'm going to walk my knees back a little bit, and I'm going to be in this position here because we're going to be doing some press-ups. You're going to push down, push up, sit back onto your heels, and repeat that 4 more times. Push down, push up, and sit back. Push down, push up, sit back. Push down, push up, sit back. Last time, push down, push up, sit back. Just stay there for a moment, stretching out the shoulders. We are moving into some stretches now, you'll be pleased to know. And we're going to start with a little bit of a spine stretch. So you're going to sit with your feet about mat width apart and sit up tall, knees bent. Toes point up towards the ceiling, please. Different ways of doing this, but it's a really hard movement to get. What I want you to do is to tuck your tailbone under, so you're rounding your back, and then lean over. You can grab hold of the inside of your ankles or the underneath of your feet, and you're going to push gently. So you're pushing your back gently back, pulling with your hands and pushing with your feet. That's it. It's a nice lower back release. If you're anything like me, the weather's been amazing, so I've been basically out in the garden weeding. Lower back likes a bit of a release after doing all that. And then sit up tall. Now you're going to rotate around through one side, push once, twice, back around the other way, push, push, back, push, push, back, and push, push. Back. Now we put the 2 movements together. Lengthen those legs out if you possibly can, otherwise keep them bent. But the important thing is lengthen the spine. So around and over you go. Back up, center, round, over you go. Back up and center. Rotate, down, back up, center, rotate, down, back up and center. Good work. Now, I'm going to stretch out your hamstrings. So toes come up towards your nose and just lean it over towards your feet. If you can't grab hold of the soles of your feet, that's fine, as long as your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Hold on to the backs of your legs if you want to, and just lean over. Again, getting a nice release, a good stretch all the way down the backs of the legs. We are pretty much done. We've just got to stretch out 2 other muscle groups. First one is your piriformis. So you're going to lie yourselves back down again. Put left foot on top of right knee and hug your right knee in towards you. That's it. Good work. And then let's swap over, so the other foot comes on top and pull in. Good. Right, now let's just get a little bit of rotation before we stand back up. So arms out wide, knees drop. Let your knees drop over to one side and look towards the other side. Doesn't matter which side you start on, we're going to work both sides anyway. Just hold this rotation here for a minute, not a whole minute. Just momentarily, and then come up and then over to the other side. Good. Work. Perfect. Last stretch is your hip flexors. These hip flexors, quite a lot is asked of them in quite a few Pilates classes, which is why I like to stretch them out every single session that I will do with all my people, all my friends. They're all friends. And I miss everybody. So I'm going to stretch out here. Feel that stretch. Now, if you want to increase the stretch, you can bring, I've got my right leg behind you, your right arm comes up and you lean over. That's it. And then come back. And then you're going to stretch out onto the other side. Careful as you go. If your knee isn't enjoying life very much on the floor, you can always come up and do a long lunge, but make sure you're holding on to something. Stretch out. And again, then just lean over. Perfect. And then stand back up again. And that is it. You are done. There is your short, sharp, a little bit longer than 20-minute session. But thank you very, very much. Any questions, queries, pick up the phone, give me a call, and I hope to see you all back here as soon as possible. More importantly, I hope you're all staying fit, well, and healthy. Thank you. Bye.